Okay, chapter 24, failure. So this is a pretty heavy chapter. I'm going to go over it slowly and carefully because there's a lot of topics in here that deserve time and effort. So yeah, we'll see if we can go over it in the 20 minutes. All right. So starts off by saying there's a mosquito. That's not what he said in this room. There's a mosquito. Okay, he starts off by saying this book would not be complete without a discussion of failure. So it's possible that the reader has had a number of failures. If having read this book, you knowing about the law of assumption, you faithfully apply it and fail, then what is the reason? So he puts a condition here, like a test. First one is, did you persist enough? That is what you are to ask yourself here. So, yeah, I don't know what enough means. He doesn't say what enough means either. But what we can assume here from what he said before is that enough means to. He had a lot of different definitions for what enough could be. So, like completely saturating your consciousness with the feeling of being in the wish fulfilled. Or being changing your state of consciousness to be the person you want to be or having the thing you want to be. Yeah, because those are again, just going back to the fundamentals. The law of assumption always happens. So you, whatever happens is a result of what you are conscious of being. That's what Neville says. Anyway, so if you answer yes to the did you persist enough, then what is the reason for failure? So he says that the most important factor in the successful use of the law is the answer to why you failed, if you persisted enough. And then he introduces this. He says, the time it takes your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be. Okay, so this is everywhere on the internet. A lot of importance is placed on the naturalness of feeling. But actually, do I need to go over anything here? Okay, so let me put a caveat to what he said. So in this, I don't remember when this lecture came out. I think it was like 67. Make sure. Or 68. Okay, I think. It's hard to tell with these online sources. Regardless, it was way later than this book, which was like 54, I think, or 52. Okay, so oops. So I said this many times in this whole book and reviewing the book, that every fulfillment has its appointed hour, and this is what Neville said. So in the story, you guys have heard me talk about this before, but Neville had a manifestation come 2 or 3 months late. And the devoted couple waited several weeks to get what they desired. And then for others, it was like, overnight or 2 days or something like that. So you'd think, first of all, just playing in the space of what this would presuppose, of what this lecture here would presuppose, that everything has its appointed hour. I'm right now assuming that is true, because it is the latest that Neville believed about timing for manifestation. The reason why I point this out, why I point out the difference in times here, For others, when it's very short, and then the devoted people like Neville himself, 2 or 3 months late, or after, but he persisted. I remember the devoted couple too. They, what it was like, I think it was several weeks, but they were searching for the apartment for months. Anyway, I don't think that it's the timing. What do you say? The time it takes for your assumption to become fact is directly proportionate to the naturalness of feeling. I don't think so, because of all the other things I said. I was gonna say something else. I was gonna say, oh yeah, you guys have heard if you've been watching my previous videos, but I think that there's a greater force that basically watches over us, because we as humans don't know what's best for us. And if we got everything we wanted right when it felt natural, then I think that the world would be in chaos. So that's what I think. I'm open to other viewpoints though. Okay, so it goes over about the naturalness. In fact, it's a secret of your failure if you don't feel natural to it. Oh yeah. I go over a different point about the naturalness, and it is it should be encouraging. So this is not all Neville's wrong, but it's that he's learning, I guess, like everybody does. I might have completely different opinions than the ones that I have in this video or in these past few videos. I hope that I learn. I hope that I improve. Okay, but so moving on. If you do not feel natural about what you want to be, you will not be it. I do agree with this. Like there's like the feeling of naturalness has some component. So let me make sure. Let me like really stress what I disagree with. I don't think that the timing has anything to do with naturalness of feeling. I do believe that I'm going to get you, mosquito. Oh my god, so close. I'm going to get him. Oh yeah, so I do agree with the naturalness being a component, but the naturalness is an effect. I've talked about cause and effect before, but so I'll just posit this really quick. So naturalness is an effect. The cause is a new concept of self. That's one of, and there's a lot of different ways that this can be restated. Change of consciousness, assuming feeling looks fulfilled, whatever. So the idea is the same thing. The concept of self. Okay, I'll explain why. So just let me put this out here, and let me keep on reading. The whole principle is vividly expressed. You die in your sins. You do not transcend. Do I talk about that? No. Okay, reading on. If it does not feel natural for you to get a better job, you'll not get a better job. Yeah, I agree. Whole principle, you die in your sins. You do not transcend. This idea is not elucidated. It's not talked about in detail beyond the sentence. Probably in other lectures or in other books, he talks about dying in your sins. But yeah, remaining in your old state is missing the mark. So sin. Okay. So how can the feeling of naturalness be achieved? Imagination. Okay, so really quick about that before we talk about the chain. He doesn't stress here that feeling, and in other places he talks about the importance of feeling. He doesn't stress the importance of changing concept of self, because the feeling, this is something feels natural, and it's a feeling. Okay, this is the effect. The concept of self, the new state of consciousness, that is the cause. So that is what you should be paying attention to, in my opinion. Don't focus on the thing that you'll get by doing whatever the thing that you get. Just focus on the fundamentals. Like focus on, I mean, before the second thing comes, the first thing comes. So this is the first thing. The concept of self is the first thing, and then the feeling of naturalness will naturally come. You don't have to worry about, oh, does this feel natural? Am I feeling the state of the wish to feel? Just change your state of consciousness. I say just do this, like it's that simple. But however, there's a lot of different techniques out there. Pick one that you like, and make sure that you pay attention to the fundamental like tenet or principle of assuming that you are the person you want to be, or having the thing that you want already. Okay. If you are, it's feeling natural to become. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just I just restated what I said right here. I'm gonna get better at drawing here, I swear. Okay. All right. Talk about chains. Okay. So he kind of he does say here, but not very clearly that assuming you are okay. Let me just read here. So for example, a very simple illustration: imagine or assume. So right now, first thing it says is assume that you are securely chained, and then to an iron bench. You can't run, you can't walk, and then so it would not feel natural. So then he introduces the component of being or feeling natural. Feeling natural, feeling unnatural to run. Okay, but that comes after the assumption that whatever you want is already true. And then instant while your consciousness is free. Okay. Okay, but then you could easily imagine yourself, but you could imagine running in that instant. Okay, so it's kind of a weird, kind of a jarring transition here, but he, you know, between one sentence and the next, he's talking about here assuming that you are chained to a large bench, and then assuming or imagining that you're running, forgetting that you're bound. So switching from one thing to another. So I think what he's saying here is that with in imagination, you are very free as opposed to what happens on the outside. So you could just as easily imagine right after a certain thing happens that the opposite is true. So you could take that example, or that that example as a ooh, come on, encouragement. I'm good. Okay. The essential feeling of naturalness. Moving on to the passage, text, whatever. The essential feeling of naturalness can be achieved by persistently filling your consciousness with imagination. Imagining, exactly. He's saying exactly here. So the only reason, anytime he talks about feeling, I just want to hammer in that even though he made an entire book called "The Feeling Is a Secret," that is the effect, and that is not what you should be focusing on primarily. That is something that you can enjoy. You can watch for it maybe, but not a lot of focus should be not more focus should be focused. Hold on, I can say this. More focus should be placed on changing concept of self and assuming that what you want is true, or you are the person that you want to be already. Okay. All right. So it goes into summary here. Progress can only. I'm just gonna read. See what comes up. So progress can spring only from your imagination, from your desire to transcend. Yeah. Okay. So progress starts with desire. what you truly and literally must feel is that all things are possible. He's already covered some ideas to help you believe that, with creation being finished and all things being possible with God. And that the foundation, of course, of everything being made in consciousness, through consciousness, by consciousness. Really, okay, so continue on. All things are possible. You must realize that changes are not caused by caprice or what is caprice? It's like fancy, sudden, and unaccountable change of birth. Okay, but by a change of consciousness. So things are caused by a change of consciousness. You may fail to achieve or sustain the particular state of consciousness necessary to produce a desire. But once you know that consciousness is the only reality and the sole creator of your world, and have burnt that truth that consciousness is the only reality and the only creator of your world, you've burnt that truth into your whole being. You know that success or failure is entirely in your hands. So that's a hard pill to swallow. I understand, but that's there's a lot of studies and I guess books or I've heard that people with an internal locus of control are happier. They are more satisfied with their lives than people who have an external locus of control. And I think I read Maxwell. Oh man, I don't know. Shad. No, I don't remember. I think I recommended it in one of my earlier books and in one of my earlier videos in the when I was covering the feeling of the secret. It was about positivity, like positive. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Point is, just look up internal versus external locus of control. So like the people that believe in an external deity, they can easily blame it on it's God or demons or whatever, as opposed to, okay, well, I need to take personal responsibility. How can I change this? So it does place more stress on you for sure, but the way you react to stress is entirely up to you. And that's just my little soapbox that I'm going to step off right now. Okay. Whether or not you are disciplined enough to sustain the required state of consciousness has no bearing on the truth of the law itself. That is an assumption, if persistent, will harden into fact. So that is the law. That is the law of assumption. The truth of that law, that an assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact. That happens regardless of whether or not you are strong enough to deny your senses and assume whatever you want is true, and persistent and be stubborn in that. Okay, certainty of the truth of law must remain. Okay. I think I covered. I think it's like a little bit of encouragement because you can depend on that one thing on the law of assumption. No. Okay. I don't think. Oh, okay. So I do need to go over this. All right. So let me go over this really quick. Just to review on the foundational beliefs. Oh, yeah. I kind of loosely went over it. So this is talking about all things are possible. Way up here. Yeah. Okay. So all things are possible. I went back and I looked at some of the fundamental beliefs in chapter 1, and I'll go over a review of the entire book after I'm done reviewing each chapter. And you'll be able to see all the fundamental beliefs. Okay, so the fundamental beliefs, foundational beliefs are creation is finished, reality, creation is consciousness, and one is one. Sorry, reality or creation is consciousness is okay. I said I totally typed this wrong. Well, I guess I didn't, but it's hard to understand, and I should have retyped it anyway. So reality creation is consciousness or made from consciousness, and consciousness is one in different forms. And reality assumptions are the cause of everything in your reality, and you can choose your assumptions. Resting in your assumption merges you with God. So those are just some of the fundamental beliefs that he lays out here. And fundamental for the purposes of what I'm talking about is the beliefs that he builds on. So he establishes these things that can I guess the truth of these can be experienced, or I mean eventually. But yeah, he builds on the beliefs like these, and again I'll go over that and go over all of them I think in the summary video. Okay. Yeah, so the encouragement. So now we're back with the encouragement here. Even though the light of life go out and all the world go on as if it were a still day. So beyond that, in spite of that, the law of assumption is okay. So going on. Okay. So this next sentence here. You must not believe that because your assumption failed to materialize, the truth that assumptions do materialize is a lie. Okay, you must not believe that because your assumption failed to materialize. Okay. So because whatever you wanted to happen didn't happen, that means that that's a lie. So he's I don't feel too comfortable with the law of the train of logic here, but I'm not super well versed in the stuff that Neville has studied, but I will be soon. I just don't like that you are to not depend on your own perception. So he says that so somebody here. Oh, we are already at 25 minutes. Awesome. Okay. Well, how much do we have left? I'm gonna cut it short here. Nah, no, I'm not. Okay. So you must not believe that because you're all right. So this thing right here. I don't feel comfortable with it because it reminds me of a lot of blind faith, and so I came from I have a background that depended a lot on blind faith. So I don't like living on blind faith at all, not even a little bit. So what he's saying here is that because your assumptions failed to materialize, that you are to still believe that. So even though what you want didn't happen, or you didn't get what you want, that the law of assumption is not there. Now, just because I don't agree with, with like the way that it was presented doesn't mean that it's not true. I'm just like the rebel, the maverick, and he's like, well, I wanna know everything right now. So that's just me. Anyway, so to take a stop on that, move on from that. If your assumption is not fulfilled because of some error or weakness, oh man, in your consciousness. Let me read that again. If your assumptions are not fulfilled, it is because of some error or weakness in your consciousness. So now this may sound a little harsh. However, he said up here that it's entirely in your own hands. That your future is entirely in your own hands. Success or failure is entirely in your hands. So this idea is in line with that. Where is this? Some error weakness. Yeah. Some error weakness in your consciousness. Now, just because you fail in changing your state of consciousness doesn't mean that it's I believe that like manifesting or changing your state of consciousness to and assuming what you have and what you want to be is real, as opposed to what reality or your senses tell you. I think that's a skill that can be learned. So, and there's something to be said for the value of failure, because if you make a mistake, what is it? If you, oh my God, okay. If you find out that there's some weakness or some error that you make, then that's okay. That all that is. I'm just trying to write it down. Remember. Okay, so all it is, and this is a tool that has helped me a lot. All it is feedback. These failures, these things that you don't like, They're just tools on the bridge. Well, let's see if I can draw a bridge. Oh yeah. Okay, and then here's the little cliff. Oh damn, it's a sexy bridge. Okay, so every single one, so that can be a framework or a perspective to in which to view failure. So, but again, what I think helps with putting failure into perspective is a degree of awareness. Like you have to stop and take the emotion out of it, because that is emotion usually is what makes you hyper focused on some objective or some obstacle that you encounter. So what normally happens, I think, for me actually, I haven't talked about this with anybody else, but usually there's some emotion, so you have to calm down. I calm down, I just lay down, okay, think, or not even think, just breathe, okay, and then after I calmed down, usually the thing that I've been kind of pushing down will come up, and I'll get some kind of clarity or epiphany. So yeah, just a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of yeah, maybe hopefully the tool helps. Yeah, this is just a tool in my own opinion. Okay, so yeah, don't feel bad. However, these errors can be overcome. Oh man, I should just kept reading, huh? So the person, okay, so it doesn't say how they can be overcome. Well, I gave you what works for me. Therefore, press on to the attainment over higher levels by feeling you are the person you want to be. So basically, don't give up. Like that's what it comes down to. Just don't give up. And that can be like hard to just say, oh, just try harder. I mean, yeah, there's tools that can help you not give up, but that is the main purpose, to not give up ever in whatever you do, because that is failure. That is like true failure, when you give up, when you stop trying. I think, anyway. So remember that the time it takes is proportionate to the naturalness. Yep. Okay, so man surrounds himself with a true image of himself. Okay, and he quotes Ralph Waldo Emerson, I think. Oh yeah, also, so you can do that not only in the face of some error or weakness that is emotionally involving you, but if by increasing the power of attention you can be persistent and stubborn in whatever you want, then it will come about. Okay, yeah, from nature. So I don't know why I said twice. Oh yeah, so he quotes from Emerson twice. So here he says that every spirit builds himself a house of the world, and beyond the world of heaven, and know that the world exists for you. So I think it's super interesting that Ralph Waldo Emerson talked about this. That's like crazy to me. Certainly wasn't like loud about it, but still, I mean, if the world exists for you, like that's quite a thing to say. Okay, all right. So I think we're gonna finish up here. For you, the phenomenon is perfect. What we are, that only we can see. That should make sense to everybody right now. All that Adam had, all that Caesar could, you have and can do. Adam called his house heaven. Caesar called his house Rome. You could call yourself whatever you want. Yet line for line, point for point. And then he quotes again. Line for line, point your way. Your dominion is great as theirs. I don't know if he quoted Caesar, but regardless, this is another quote, and this video is getting super long. Though without my name. Build therefore your own world. As fast as you conform your life to the pure idea in your mind, that will unfold in great proportion. That's so crazy to me. That Ralph Waldo Emerson. I mean, when did I'm just curious. Let's look this up here. Make sure. 1830. So this was like 100 years before. Holy cow. That's pretty cool. All right, chapter 24 is done. Tomorrow, the next video is going to be about chapter 25.